So it's been a trying day, and one of the things I do to feel better in life is wander around the house singing show tunes, but I'm not going to subject you to that, or reading out loud bits of books that I like, because I'm a huge nerd. So these are three poems that I learned by heart as a kid because, as I said, huge nerd, and also we didn't have the internet then, so we had to amuse ourselves somehow. So I was thinking it is really fun to say poems out loud, some more than others. And if you happen to come across this video by some means, here are three that are especially fun to say because they're full of lovely, rumbly, tumbly words. So first there is Tarantella by Hillaire Beloc. Then we have The Jabberwocky by Carroll. And finally, Inversnaid by Gerard Manley Hopkins, where I'll attempt an atrocious Scottish accent, so stick around for that, I guess. But first, Tarantella from 1923, which is the dance you do if you get bitten by a tarantula and you need to work the poison out, apparently. Um, it's a Spanish dance, and this poem really reflects that, I think. Do you remember an inn, Miranda? Do you remember an inn? And the tedding and the spreading of the straw for the bedding, and the fleas that tease in the high Pyrenees, and the wine that tasted of the tar, and the cheers and the jeers of the young muleteers under the vine of the dark veranda. Do you remember an inn, Miranda? Do you remember an inn? And the cheers and the jeers of the young muleteers who hadn't got a penny and who weren't paying any, and the hammer at the doors and the din, and the hip-hop-hap of the clap of the hands to the twirl and the swirl of the girl gone chancing, glancing, dancing, backing and advancing, snapping of a clapper to the spin, out and in, and the ting-tong-tang of the guitar. Do you remember an inn, Miranda? Do you remember an inn? Nevermore, Miranda, nevermore. Only the high peaks hoar, and arrogant a torrent at the door. No sound in the walls of the halls where falls the tread of the feet of the dead to the ground. No sound but the boom of the far waterfall like doom. So that was Tarantella, and now we have what is, in my opinion, probably the best poem to say out loud in the entire world, which is why it's super famous, but still worth saying, and that is The Jabberwocky by Lewis Carroll, the same chap who wrote The Alice in Wonderlands and all of that. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogroves, and the mome raths outgrabe. Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jubjub bird, and shun the frumious Bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the manxome foe he sought. Then rested he by the tum-tum tree, and stood a while in thought. And as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock with eyes of flame came whiffling through the tulgey wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through, the vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went galumphing back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. A frabjous day, callooh, he chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogroves, and the mome raths outgrabe. Is it weird that I literally have pictures in my head of what slithy toves and mome raths look like? I guess it's not that weird, because, words are amazing. But anyway, I promised you terrible Scottish accent, and here it comes. This poem is about a waterfall, and I think it's really beautiful. And the reason why I'm even attempting the terrible Scottish accent is because I feel like it adds a lot more to it, because that's how I read it in my head. So here we go. Inversnaid by Gerard Manley Hopkins. This darksome burn, horseback brown, his roll-rock high road roaring down, in coop and in comb the fleece of his foam flutes, and low to the lake falls home. A wind-puff bonnet of fawn froth turns and twindles over the broth of a pool so pitch-black fell frowning, it rounds and rounds, despair to drowning. Degged with dew, dappled with dew, are the groins of the braes that the brook treads through, wiry heathpicks, flitches of fern, and the bead bonny ash that sits over the barn. What would the world be, once bereft of wet and of wildness? Let them be left, oh, let them be left, wildness and wet. Long live the weeds in the wilderness yet. Well, that's embarrassing, but yeah, I feel better. I should go look up some other poems, probably. Happy Friday, world.